Welcome to another episode of the Super Parent Syndrome. I am your host, Dr. Nick Fanning. I have a special guest on today's episode, and we dive into deep and heavy into the last 8 weeks of having our darling baby girl, Gaia Joy Fanning. It has not been puppies and kittens, so to speak. There's been challenges along the way, especially when it comes to sleep and getting her to relax and just kind of be that what we call just kind of that limp baby who's just supposed to be sleeping and eating and pooping. It has not been that case. She's been very feisty. So without further ado, here is my interview with my wife, Alisha Fanning. Sit back and relax. Thanks so much.
Parenting in the 21st century is ever evolving. And while you balance work, kids, and your sanity, it's easy to feel discouraged. Welcome to the Super Parent Syndrome with your host, Dr. Nick Fanning.
Okay, so our daughter is 8 weeks old at this point, isn't she?
Yes.
Yep. And you don't want to be doing this podcast, do you?
I'm so tired.
Yeah. Why are we so tired?
Our baby doesn't sleep.
No. What do you mean by that? I thought you said she's like normal. And I was like, nope, this kid does not sleep.
She is normal. She goes to bed at 8,
Mm-hmm.
wakes up at 6:30, but she's up every 2 hours. That's normal.
If that.
No, it's pretty much 2 hours.
Yeah. There's no like long periods, is there? I mean, every once in a while we'll have
Yeah. She goes through periods. That's perfectly normal. She'll have like a week where she'll sleep from like 8 till midnight. Trick ya.
one. Oh, yeah.
And then she'll have one night where she sleeps for 7 hours. And then the next night's every 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. And so here's the thing. Like, when we say she gets up at every 2 hours, like, really take me through the timeline and what that actually, the 2 hours actually means. So 2 hours, she wakes up.
Let's say she wakes up at midnight.
Yes.
We change her diaper.
Uh-huh.
It's now 12:03.
Yep.
Then I nurse, and it's 12:30.
Well, really, she starts the grunting at midnight. And then by 12:07, we like, okay,
She's
enough
up.
is enough. We have to get up and change her. So then it's 12:10 by the
It's
time we
not
start
enough
breastfeeding.
is enough because she's not awake yet. It's not like she's crying. She just kind of like
Eh.
wiggles. Yeah.
Ugh.
So to make this less painful, it's 40 minutes into the 1 hour. And then we rock her to sleep. She's asleep. So by the time we get to sleep, we really have 1 hour.
Right.
But
That's if we do things perfectly.
that's seriously how it goes. They say you're supposed to count from the time that they start nursing till the time they nurse again, how much time. So really, it is 2 hours, but we only get like an hour.
Right. And during that hour, she can have periods where she just grunts the whole time.
Yeah.
And so do you sleep when that happens?
No.
No.
What
no.
human sleeps when their baby is grunting?
It's awful. It really is. And then that's if we do things perfectly. Now, if we don't do things perfectly, then we still have to burp her yet again. And then restarts the shaking, rocking, swaying.
Shaking isn't a good term.
Okay, the bouncing.
Bouncing is a better term.
And it's a special combination. And it's never the same, is it?
It is the same, but you have to know the exact formula.
No, it's not the same.
Don't do it wrong.
Right. Okay, so we're getting a max of an hour, or usually about 45 minutes.
Can I just say that we are currently holding the baby and she is sleeping.
Because she has a long
Right
night.
now.
She has a long night of
Through
keeping
this.
us up.
Talking in her face. She's sleeping.
So here's the thing. Think about all the moms and dads out there.
Mm-hmm.
They're not alone in doing with us stuff. But every once in a while we'll have those babies that are like automatically like they sleep like, oh, I'm gonna sleep through the night.
Yeah.
5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, and I'm so happy for you. Sometimes.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm kind of bitter. But those that are not. Now here's the thing. What is the difference between what she has versus colic?
So colic is, they define as like after a feeding or your witching hour, they call it, is like 4 hours of uninterrupted crying, no matter what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So she does not have colic.
Nope.
Because even when she's up at night, she's not screaming. She's just kind of awake and
Particular. She just wants to be
loved.
and held.
Yeah.
Right. Because here's the thing. At this age, can they be purposely trying to ruin our lives?
That drives me crazy when people say that. You cannot spoil your baby.
I literally sometimes am like, are you trying to ruin my life? I mean, I am so exhausted and tired. Now, this is one thing. This is a tattoo. Like, if I was to express that, people would be like, man, you're just kind of a bad dad.
I do that to you.
Yeah, I beat
And
myself up with that.
I'm like, you're a jerk.
I get bitter. I'm like, gosh, just go to bed.
I do sometimes pray. I'm like, God, if you let her sleep, I'll do anything.
Right?
I bargain.
And it works, right?
No. I don't know. Sometimes it does.
And have you ever cried more than she does?
Yeah.
I have. Like, I'm like literally in the chair, like bouncing her, because I can't say shake, bouncing her and just being like, why?
We've been in the closet. Have we talked about my panic attacks on this show? No.
We just did. We talked about mom guilt.
I've been in that. Oh yeah, I have been in the closet having panic attacks with her more than 10 times.
Right. 10 times in the last
2 months.
2 months, yeah. So I mean, it's not uncommon. Now here's the thing. Yeah, I can't fault you for that. I mean, think about all the stress that's been laid on.
It's hard.
Oh yeah. And this isn't our first one.
No.
No, we're used to this.
5. I thought this one would be easier because the other ones were older.
Yeah.
It's harder.
Statistically, we were owed one. I think we were
owed one what?
Owed an easy one. Yeah.
We had 2 easy ones.
Oh yeah, what were their names?
Deegan and Madeline.
Madeline was easy. I remember laying on the floor trying to rock that thing. She would guys just so you know, she would make me like sit next to her crib and like rock the crib while I was half asleep. But I had to be constantly moving it because, well, Madeline was not born with a diaphragm, and Alisha was worried that she would stop breathing. So I would have to lay in the room and listen for her to breathe, quote unquote, because I couldn't fall asleep. I couldn't stay awake half the time. And then she would groan so much that she would want me to rock her too. Remember those days?
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't much better.
I had no guilt. I would be asleep in the bed and I'd be like, now you lay on the floor and make sure this baby lives.
Because here's the thing, if I didn't do that, what would happen?
I'd be up all night watching her breathe.
Mm-hmm. And then you'd be up all day with the kids.
Yeah.
And at that time we had, what were the ages?
2, 4, and a newborn.
Right, yeah, so there was no possible way that she could survive that.
No. But then they didn't have activities and they took naps, all of them. This time, there's dance, there's soccer, because there's 3 of them in soccer. There's 3 in dance.
Mm-hmm.
There's, what else am I missing? Volleyball.
Volleyball now, yep.
School, Sunday school, church, stuff, all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't nap anymore.
No. Not even our 4-year-old, which is weird because our 6-year-olds and 4-year-olds, when they were 4, they still napped.
I know. Yeah.
The mango. Craziness.
They don't nap.
So here's the thing, folks. What I'm trying to get across is that our children are going to be sources of frustration and sources of, exhaustion, really. And it's, you're not alone. Sometimes we think we are because, hey, who talks about this stuff?
We do.
Yeah, we do. But do you see it on Facebook shared a lot?
No, and in fact, we've been doing that a lot on Facebook, and people stop me in the street and say, "Oh, your poor baby," and we've been thinking like everybody thinks that. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody's baby does that.
Right, not everybody's. Like most babies. This is very typical.
And she's not a bad baby. This is just normal newborn activity.
Right.
But we're exhausted, and I don't even really feel like I have postpartum depression this time as bad.
Right. And in the past, you definitely have that.
Yeah, and I have it somewhat now, but it could be way worse. But nobody talks about it because it's uncomfortable.
So think about this. Think about the parent who has no idea that everybody else is going through this. What is their mindset like?
I'm all alone.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible.
And if they were to complain, would they feel good about complaining or would they feel guilty?
No, they feel like bad parents.
Absolutely. They'd feel like I have no right to talk about this because I'm not supposed to talk about these things because that would be being a bad parent or bad spouse or whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. And we haven't even talked about the spouse stuff and how it changes our relationship. Yeah. Right? Or the fact that we can't go on dates because, well, we can't really just set her down. She gets crazy angry.
Yeah, you guys could be held. It's not just with newborns though. I felt like that was before she was born, mm-hmm. I was overwhelmed sometimes with just our kids.
Oh yeah, all kids are overwhelming.
It's not just because you have a new one.
Right. So guess what? The whole purpose of this is that we're quote unquote in the trenches. I don't really like saying that because we're not actually at war, and man, they made quite the sacrifice. But at the same time, we are deep in life.
Deep in diapers.
Deep in diapers, yeah. Deep in life, deep in diapers, trying to balance everything like that. And I'm letting you know, folks, that this isn't some sort of cry for a pity party. Things aren't things aren't bad. That, we're not expecting people to stop us on the street and be like, oh, we're so sorry things are so bad. No, it's just normal. And yet we're trying to be honest with our feelings. Because here's the thing. Let's say, for example, we're the average parent who doesn't know everything that's going on. And then we repress this emotion. We stuff it down deep inside. What can happen then? How will it manifest?
I know it's different for you, but I cry way more. Way more panic attacks.
Because that emotion will come out. Now, here's the thing. Let's just be real for me. How do I express it when I stuff it down deep inside? I take it out on who?
Me. Her.
No, I don't take it out on her.
I don't know what you're trying to get
I take it out on the kids.
Oh, yeah, your grumpy dad.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's what we name him.
Yeah, grumpy dad. So it's like the kids can't do everything just perfect. It has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And if they're not there, then it's like, gosh, guys, and it's more talking like that versus screaming. But
you don't scream.
in the past, I've had those moments too.
Maybe like 2.
Yeah, but at the same time, they don't deserve that.
No, they don't.
And so here's the thing, folks. Like, you have to express this stuff. You have to get it out. You have to share it with others. Otherwise, you will repress it. Otherwise, you will stuff it down deep inside, and it will come out. It will come out ugly to the people that you don't mean for it to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the whole point of this: is find your tribe, find those people. And kids are not meant to be raised alone by their parents, and yet we are in a society where it's mom, dad, and baby, and that's it. And we might bring in parents or the grandparents for relief, but otherwise that's it. We don't talk about mom's group really. We don't complain. We don't talk about that. And even mom's group, it comes into more of a pissing match, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like who can have the best treats and who can make things look like they have everything together, who can look the best, instead of like really just sharing.
It's not always that way. I don't think we do that intentionally. It's just you want to look like you have it together. I mean, I'll stay up till midnight making Ninja Turtle Rice Krispie treats for my son's birthday. And why? Like, no one even really cares. And they don't even look like Ninja Turtles, really. But we're being honest.
Well, I think they look amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We digress.
We digress. Now, here's the thing. So that being said, is that you got to find your tribe. You got to find those people that you can express that stuff to. And you might have to be the one that sets the tone of like saying like, oh yeah, things aren't all just puppies and kittens and rainbows. This is a struggle. This is real life. I locked myself in the closet and ate a bag of chips type thing. Yeah. Versus those that are going to be constantly putting the smiley face on and then end up sedating in other ways, drinking or whatever it might be, to get rid of that stress, to get rid of that emotion in a bad, negative way.
Yeah.
So any last thoughts for our parents out there?
No, I think it's important to find a teammate, even if you don't have a spouse with you. Because, like, on Friday, I called Nick crying and said, you have to come home, like, at noon. It was midday, and I was losing my cool. It wasn't because I was angry or frustrated. I was just tired, depressed, feeling hopeless, and I needed to go upstairs and cry in the closet. Yep. And I did.
And here's the thing. Usually I take Fridays off and I'm home with the family, but we had such a stressful night and stressful morning that I was like, me! And I went to the office. Because you basically pushed me away. You're like, nope, you don't have to be here. You can go, blah, blah, blah. Because we canceled the trip.
We were tired and
canceled the trip on you.
And we had to stay here, and that was the only thing that was making me feel good. And then we didn't get to go.
Yep.
And so...
So then, therefore, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm going to the office. And you're like, fine, I want you to go to the office.
We're digressing again.
But I'm telling you, like, real life stress.
No, that is the real life. And so I had to call him and say, you got to come home. And he did. So you got to find someone that can be that for you, even if it's not your spouse. Mm-hmm. Maybe mom or friend, significant other, boyfriend, whatever, girlfriend.
Absolutely. And we purposely have that set up at the office. If, you just need 10 minutes to go to the bathroom or something like that, you come in, you drop the baby off at us or whatever you might need to.
And I know that not everybody has that luxury, but it's important to don't take it all on yourself, because it will be much harder, won't it, little Gigi? Still sleeping. Still fast asleep. And find things, she just huffed.
Right.
Find things to look forward to.
Yep.
It's important too.
Especially date night. And it's important that we continue date nights, even though it's hard. It's not easy, but we got to make sure that we're husband and wife versus mom and dad versus roommates. So, folks, I do appreciate you coming in and signing on and listening to us rant about this. I want to let you know that you are definitely not alone.
No.
That you can reach out to any one of us at any time, direct message us, Facebook us, whatever you need to let you know that there is a shoulder for you. But until then, be in tune for more episodes like this where we get down and dirty and talk about some of the uncomfortable stuff, because guess what? There is a point. And if you haven't done already, that we are on a 100-day challenge. And if you need help setting that up, make sure you contact me directly. We will get you set up with the OWN GPS, which is our goals, purpose, and systems. And we'll get you set up for a Rockstar 2018. So, strong finish. I love you. Thank you for joining me today.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. I know you don't want to do this, but I appreciate it because you offer such an amazing perspective. All right. Until then, Dr. Nick Fanning and my lovely wife, Alisha, and our sleeping dead to the world baby, Gaia, we're signing off. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Super Parent Syndrome. Please be sure to visit peptalksforparents.com for more content and our free newsletter. And remember, you are not alone.